Right then, this is now my full card prediction for Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And yes, I'm now here for my predictions and breakdowns for every single fight on the card. Let's get right into it then. Starting with Avius Griffin versus Julian Rodriguez. I believe that Avius Griffin will win this fight. I'm going to say he wins a decision here, in my opinion. Julian Rodriguez is a tough guy, but he's going to be walking to shots all night from Avius Griffin. He probably will get success because Avius Griffin very rarely moves his head off center line. But I think Avius Griffin's got very quick hands on the inside. He's good at mid-range as well. Julian Rodriguez is definitely the most experienced guy that Avius Griffin's been in there with, though he definitely will be. So, Julian Rodriguez is going to get to him at some point in this fight, and you never know, test him here and there. I feel like he's going to be awkward at first for Avius Griffin to figure out, but I feel like Griffin has got good, decent power, which can get to Rodriguez. Griffin does hit hard, but as I've been saying, Rodriguez is a tough man. He's going to keep on coming forward no matter what. If he can put Griffin on the back foot, that will be interesting. But I believe Griffin's got, good quick hands, which Rodriguez isn't going to be able to deal with throughout the pace of this fight. I feel like Griffin's going to be able to set the pace as the fight goes on, and Rodriguez isn't going to be able to deal with it. But he is a tough man. He's been in there with experienced guys, Julian Rodriguez. But yeah, I feel like Avius Griffin is going to end up winning this fight pretty simply in the end on the cards, like 117, 111, something like that. I'm saying a UD for Avius Griffin, but yeah, it's definitely his toughest test. Yeah, and you never know, there could be question marks around him. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs, in my opinion, but I believe Griffin will win. Anyway, we then get on to Holm coming back to boxing after 12 years of, being and doing her stuff in the UFC and MMA. She's now back boxing against Yolanda Vega from Mexico. Holly Holm's about 50 now, so it's like, I don't know how she's going to look. In Holly Holm's prime, light on her feet, quick hands, blitzes in the inside well, gets her shots going, gets her shots going nicely, throws some decent, quick, fast combinations. But she's far from her prime now. I mean, usually in MMA, she's easily able to get out wrestled now because her footwork's just not the same. But this isn't an MMA fight. I mean, Vega, there's not really loads on her, to be honest with you. I think Vega's going to win. I think Holly Holm's just going to be too slow. She hasn't been active enough in the game in boxing. Vega has. I think Vega's going to beat her. I think Yolanda Vega is probably going to overwhelm Holly Holm. I don't really think Holly Holm's going to be able to really do her much damage. I think Vega's going to win a convincing decision here. I feel like she might beat Holly Holm down over however long it is, 10 rounds, I believe. Yeah, I feel like she's going to beat her down throughout the fight, to be honest with you, and win a convincing decision over Holly Holm. She just doesn't move as good. I feel like a key thing throughout Holly Holm's boxing career and MMA career, her footwork was a big part of her, all of her game. And now that's literally just gone. She's slow. Her hand speed's not as fast. She's not going to win this fight, in my opinion. And, being out of boxing for 12 years, I mean, obviously she's still been fighting, but being out of boxing for 12 years, which is completely different to MMA, it's going to affect her. And I think she's going to lose this fight on a decision. That's my prediction. Anyway, then we go to, in my opinion, the best fight on the card, the most interesting fight on the card, a fight that I am personally really looking forward to, is Floyd Scoffield versus Tevin Farmer. And if I'm being honest here, it's a really difficult one. But you know what? I'm going with Tevin Farmer. Yeah, I'm going with Tevin Farmer. I feel like this is going to be very competitive. A draw here wouldn't surprise me. No, that's the thing. A draw here wouldn't surprise me. But I'm going with Tevin Farmer to win. Unless the judges go with an awful call. But yeah, I think Tevin Farmer will win. And it's just those Williams and Pettis performances which have given me so much hope in Tevin Farmer to win this fight against Floyd Schofield. I think Tevin Farmer is good at being able to deal with volume punches. And, well, you can tell that, with how he faced Williams Zepeda. He was able to deal with him, and Zepeda throws some of the most punches that are thrown in boxing. He's ridiculously active. And Schofield's active, to be fair. Schofield throws some good, quick combinations. Schofield might be smarter than Farmer at this point, but Farmer's a dog in there, to be honest with you, and isn't really going to stop and can take some massive shots for days on end. Tevin Farmer can. He's a monster. I think Farmer's going to be able to get some decent success at range. I do question Floyd Schofield's defense massively as well. I really do. I question his defense, and Tevin Farmer could drop him here as well, to be honest with you. Schofield's going to come forward. He's going to get success and land on Tevin Farmer and outbox him in a few rounds and get some success over him. But throughout the fight, especially later on, Farmer's going to get into it, and Farmer is going to be able to pick him apart here and there, in my opinion. Farmer's going to be able to pick him off with that jab. As I said, I question Schofield's defense. I really, really do. And, Tevin Farmer hasn't got the greatest of defense, but he's got a good chin. And that's your run fight that Schofield has. He was rocked a bit. He was dropped in the fight. I do question that from Floyd Schofield. I think Tevin Farmer's going to be able to do too much for him here. I think Farmer's going to be a bit too much for him. I feel like Farmer throws his shots well. I think he picks his moments well. And I feel like he could drop Floyd Schofield when he's coming in with a good counter. I mean, Schofield's a good counterer himself, but I honestly feel like experience could play a factor here. And Tevin Farmer's going to end up winning this fight. Split decision, majority decision. It's going to be close, but I see Tevin Farmer just about doing it. The judges probably be on Schofield's side. But no, I'm going with my gut, and my gut is telling me that Tevin Farmer will win for all the reasons I've said. Anyway, we then go to Cesar Ramirez versus Dossios. I think that Cesar Ramirez will win this fight. I think Cesar Ramirez will win a decision here. I think Dossios is a good fighter at range. He's very good at range, picking his shots off at range very nicely, to be honest with you. But Cesar Ramirez is at the top of his game right now. He works angles well. Cesar, he's very good at mid-range. He's very good at mixing up his shots. I feel like with Dossios, I think the problem with him is he's just a headhunter. He never really mixes up his shots too much. And I feel like with Dossios, it's a lot of the same old shots with him all the time. And I feel like the game plan with Dossios is always the same as well. And I don't think he's in his prime anymore either. Zerdo is. Dossios is a tough man, though, and you never know. Dossios could get the opposite of success. Could he make Zerdo walk onto a few shots when he's coming forward? But I do feel like Zerdo's footwork's getting better each fight. I feel like he's learned a lot off of that Dimitri Bivol loss as well. You can tell that by the way he moves and the way he works his angles. I feel like his footwork, his angle work, is getting better every single fight. It really is. And I feel like he's always watching that loss to Dimitri Bivol. I think Zerdo wins this fight. I feel like his pressure is going to be too much for Dossios. I feel like he's just going to be way too smart for him in there as well, to be honest with you. So I think Cesar Ramirez is going to win this fight. I'm going to say decision, but I am looking forward to this one, to be honest with you. I am looking forward to it. I think Zerdo's going to win. I'm confident he will win, but I don't think you can rule out Dossios. I feel like he's a good challenger, in my opinion, for Zerdo. And then hopefully Zerdo gets a win here. We see the giant potato fight. Anyway, then we get to our main event, Jake Paul versus Julio Chavez Jr. I think Jake Paul is going to win decision here. I think Jake Paul will win, and Julio Cesar Chavez is going to be absolutely embarrassed. I don't think Jake Paul knocks him out. No, I don't think Jake Paul stops, and I think Jake Paul's going to be able to outbox him and beat him down a bit, to be honest with you. I mean, Honestly, I think Chavez's last fight against Uriah Hall was embarrassing. The way Uriah Hall was so stiff in there, he was literally punching like a bodybuilder, Uriah Hall. And the amount of success he was still able to get on Julio Cesar Chavez was an absolute joke. To be honest with you, I think, Jake Paul's jab is improving. He's getting more active with that, and he's going to be able to knock Chavez's head back, which he never moves at all. Chavez throws a very sloppy lead hook. I mean, it's Jake Paul. He's not a world-class boxer who's going to, be able to counter him a lot. But Jake Paul, I think, is going to be able to snap the head back of Julio Chavez Jr. with his jab. I feel like he's going to mix in a decent hook to the body as well. And I think Chavez Jr. Is going to be phased by Jake Paul, to be honest with you. I feel like he's going to be phased by by Jake Paul's power. I don't know how serious he's taking it. I don't really feel like Jake Paul's going to be causing any problems. And let's be completely real with ourselves as well. Is Jake Paul and his team going to pick an opponent who they know can beat it? No, they're not. They're not going to do that. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former world champion. Canelo fought him. It's a good name on the resume, I guess, just like the Mike Tyson name. But, they're old. They're way past it. They're just getting the names on the resume for the sake of it. Yeah, Jake Paul's going to win a decision here. I'm not really hyped for it at all. I'm just looking forward to the undercard. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll speak to you on the next one.